would have liked to have seen us hit a little better with runners in scoring position. We had some opportunities early and did not capitalize. And then base running, we had a couple of mistakes on the bases, got back picked at first base, and then got thrown out at third base for the third out. So got to do a little better job. And we didn't tag at second base on a ball we should have tagged on. So we had 3 base running mistakes in the ball game. But, it's first game of the season. We expect there to be some mistakes, and we got to do a good job of addressing it tomorrow in pregame and getting better in those aspects of the game. But every guy in the lineup had quality at bats, and just really, really proud of the way that we played. And we played a great game defensively as well, no errors. So, overall, great opening day. Got plenty of things to improve on and work on, but very pleased with how we played today.
Monte, this was your first game with COVID. What was that like for you, the new protocols?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we have everybody in college baseball this year because of last year. Everybody got their eligibility back, so rosters are bigger than ever, and our roster is bigger than it's been in my 6 years here at Clemson. So it's a lot of guys to manage, and just constantly trying to tell them to get their masks on. Make sure they got a mask on in the dugout, and we didn't shake hands after the game. I went over and gave Coach Guggens a fist bump and his staff just because it's just very difficult for me as a coach not to shake hands with the opposing team's coach after the game. But, the players didn't shake hands. We told our guys after the game to shower and go home and not go up into the stands to see their family and to try to stay away from folks after the game. We know that's difficult to do, especially when families and girlfriends come in to see them play. But, we just got to be very, very precautious right now, dealing with COVID. We're already banged up, as you guys know, with the injury report. We had a number of guys out. We certainly don't want to lose anybody else, to COVID protocols. But really proud of how our guys stepped up today and thought we played a great baseball game.
Hey, Coach, Trevor Groves from CUTigers.com. Great debut for Caden Grice at the plate. We saw a little bit of that power that you talked about for the last few months. He was 2 for 4, and his 2 flyouts were to the warning track. He was in the 8 hole tonight. You think you might move him up a little bit in the order tomorrow?
I haven't really given it any thought, with the game just now being over. I tend to think when you put a true freshman down in the order, I'm just trying to take some pressure off of him and just let him go up there and compete with the bat in his hand. And it worked today for him, and that's a credit to him. He put good swings on the baseball all night long, had 2 hits, hit 2 balls hard in his other 2 at bats. So in my mind, him being in the 8 hole worked out pretty good for him. I don't know if I would change it a whole lot. We had a bunch of quality at bats, and I felt like we swung the bats fairly well tonight. I'm not quite sure I'd be ready to move him up quite yet. I like to leave guys in a place where they're having success.
Hey, Monte, this is Will. To have your 2 veteran pitchers kind of go out there and kind of set the pace. I mean, all we've heard all seasons about those young pitchers, but how nice was it for you to kind of see your 2 veteran guys come out and kind of have that kind of performance for you?
Well, to see Davis do what Davis did, he pitched like a true ace. He was absolutely dominant. His pitch count was getting fairly high. I think he was right at 80 pitches, 75, 80 pitches. They were getting ready to turn it over for the 3rd time through the order, and we had a long inning there in the 5th, so we decided to go to Matt. And, the thing that really stood out to me outside of the fact that both of those guys were dominant for us, struck out 15 with 1 walk and a shutout, was Davis pitched very, very well. As soon as he came out of the ball game, you got a guy like Matt Clark who's asked to be very, very selfless. A guy that started a lot for us, and we've asked him to pitch out of the pen. And, he accepts that role when he comes in behind Davis and does just an amazing job. And Davis, I'm sure, wanted the ball to go out in the 6th inning, but as soon as we turn the ball over to Matt, he's standing right beside me in the dugout cheering him on. So I thought it was just a great job of both those guys being very, very selfless and understanding, what we're trying to do to help us win a game. And especially as you guys know, winning game one is a big deal in a series, and having those two guys just pound the strike zone all night long the way they did was pretty dang impressive. And I thought, Jonathan French made his first start behind the plate, and I thought he caught an outstanding game. So very, very proud of Big John as well.
Monty, Brad from Clemson SI. Can you update the injury report on the guys who were out today, especially those three guys in the lineup?
Yeah, well, Adam Hackenberg is out with an injury. Sam Hall is out with an injury. Kier Meredith is out with an injury. Those are the guys. And Keyshawn Askew is out with an injury. So that's the list right now. Chad Ferry is questionable as well. And Cooper Engel is out as well. So we've got quite a few out.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again. We know how great a fielder Teodosio is at center. How good was it to see him get off to the start that he did tonight, 3 for 4, especially with Sam Hall out?
Well, the great thing about Bryce is we all know how great a defender he is, but he also, I think he stole a bag, he stole a base, and he also advanced on a ball in the dirt. And 2 of his hits, of his 3 hits, 2 of them were with 2 strikes. So he's doing a much better job of having disciplined at bats. He obviously can really run, and he can defend in center field. He's tough as nails. He's a leader, great teammate. Just, very, very proud of Bryce and glad to see him play so well here on opening day for us.
Monty, Brad again. I want to ask you about, you mentioned post-game how different things kind of felt. What about pre-game, kind of the festivities of opening day? Did it feel like opening day as things started? And what was it like to see kind of, a different kind of crowd for your first game?
Yeah, I'll say this. We had a sellout crowd here today. We know that we're only at 20% capacity because of the guidelines with COVID. But we had a great crowd here today. Look, we'd love to have 6,500 people in the stands like a typical opening day here in Clemson. But, the fans that were here were really behind our guys. And we're just super proud of the fan base that we have and happy to have the crowd that we did have. And it was a beautiful day weather-wise. And I'm really proud of just how our guys handled opening day. Opening day is very, very difficult for a lot of guys. There's a lot of jitters. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty. You come out and you win 5-0, and you have 2 guys pitch the way we pitch. You play error-free baseball, put together a lot of really good at-bats tonight. A lot of guys did some really good things offensively. Are there things we need to clean up? Absolutely. But, all in all, I was pretty calm all day because really just the perspective of going through last year, just the appreciation of, we get to put the uniform on today and play somebody else. It's been a long time coming. I probably enjoyed opening day this year more than I ever have before. I didn't have those jitters and that anxiety that I typically have. I didn't sleep too great, but, besides that, it was a great day at the ballpark for all of us. And thought our guys did a good job of managing their emotions and just competing for 9 innings. And, all in all, it was a great day.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood. I had connectivity issues, so I apologize if this has been asked. But how big is it to have a Matt Clark come in, throw 4 innings, save your bullpen? But, you know what you're going to get out of him, and you can rely on him. And then you've got everybody else ready for these last 2 games this weekend.
Well, the idea, quite honestly, is to have a guy like Matt Clark and then a guy like Evan Estridge, who we feel like those guys could start for us. If we had to start Matt Clark, we would all be very, very confident with him taking the baseball as a starter. Evan Estridge, same thing. We feel like those 2 guys behind 2 of our starters on a weekend give us a chance to really, stretch 2 guys out back to back, kind of a piggyback system, so to speak. And then we can keep those high leverage short inning relievers like an Anglin, like a Rob Hughes, Rasesh Panja, and Jeffrey Gilbert. We can keep those guys in short spurts and use them more often. we don't have to necessarily stretch out our closer because we don't have that guy that can bridge the gap between the starter to the end. We have two guys that we feel very, very good about that can do that, so that we can keep some of those other guys in short inning spurts. So it certainly worked today.
We have time for one.